Friends, I wanted to share a quick testimony. A friend of mine who lives in Colorado called to tell me. And I want to share it because I want us to know and be encouraged that when we're in the will of God and we're standing in His, desire for us to be holy and obedient, He goes before us, right? Way before time. So my friend works for a health insurance company. She works from home. She's in Colorado. She moved from Florida a couple years ago. And she has a desire to move up into another position, sort of a mentor training position. She's a nurse by training. And she said that she had been having some problems with this lady at work. And she realized that it was likely spiritual warfare. She said last Sunday, out of the blue, her sister-in-law, who lives in New York, calls her to tell her the most amazing thing. And that is, at the sister-in-law's church, there was a guest speaker, guest teacher who came to a staff meeting. And she was the one assigned to pick up this guest speaker. And so she went to pick him up and they started to talk. And he asked her, do you have a sister named Patricia? Or somebody in your family? And she says, I have a sister and a sister-in-law named Patricia. And then he goes on to reveal things to identify who this Patricia is, which turned out to be my friend, like her address, like does she used to live in Florida? It's her address, this number, and gave certain things that just made it clear that it was Patricia. And then he goes on to tell the sister-in-law, there is someone, there is a job that she's going for at her place of employment, a promotion, and there's someone who is working very hard to undermine her, and it's spiritual warfare. And when they got to the church, the whole church, they stopped and had a prayer meeting for Patricia. Overwhelming prayer meeting. And Patricia said that she has just been processing this for the last week. And this person at work has been very nasty and mean, definitely trying to undermine her. And Patricia is just taking the high road in just being quiet, letting it play out. She said this morning she was in the shower and she felt a very heavy weight of the Holy Spirit, like the Shekinah glory of the Holy Spirit pressing down on her. She said she fell on her knees in the shower and just prayed and prayed, and she was just praying. And she said it was like a warm blanket. She knew that it was the Holy Spirit, and God let her know in her spirit that there are people praying for her. In any event, it is just share worthy, because when you are in the will of God, He goes before you. Patricia, she don't know who this man is. Her sister-in-law never met this guest speaker. God had a word of knowledge for this man that he could not have known apart from the Holy Spirit depositing it in his heart. And so I think it gives Patricia a tremendous amount of hope to know that God is in her corner and that the spiritual warfare that she's been feeling and experiencing will not prevail over her. And I think it's important in our life, especially in the season when there's so much coming at us in the world, to know that we are standing positionally secure in the will of God. And so it's important for us to walk in holiness and obedience so that we are inside that will of God. You know that in Matthew 7, it talks about the two men, the wise man and the foolish man, one who builds his house on sand and the one who builds his house on rock. The wind and the rain and the storms are going to come to both of them. The only one who will be standing is the one who has prepared, who has built a solid foundation, and who is comfortably walking in holiness and in the will of God and in obedience to Him. This is a season where nobody wants to be willfully disobedient. because times are dread. The devil and his minions are roaring, seeking who they can devour, right? And God will protect. He will go before. He will make crooked places straight for his people. Let's be in his will, walking in obedience and holiness.